Have you ever wondered why humans have only one heart? Out of all the organs inside your body, your heart is probably the hardest working. It beats around 100,000 times every single day without asking for a single break. While you're awake, it's working. While you're asleep, it's still working. Even before you were born, your heart had already started its lifelong job, pumping blood through thousands of kilometers of blood vessels, keeping every single cell alive. Now imagine waking up tomorrow morning and instead of feeling one heartbeat inside your chest, you feel three. At first, that sounds like the ultimate upgrade. Three hearts must mean three times the power, three times the stamina, and maybe even three times the lifespan. You'd probably imagine running faster than Olympic athletes, climbing mountains without getting tired, or surviving heart attacks because you'd always have two backup hearts ready to take over. But biology is never that simple. Every advantage comes with a price. And if humans had evolved with three hearts, our entire body, our lifestyle, even human civilization itself, would look completely different. So, what would actually happen? Let's find out. To answer this question, we first need to understand why humans have only one heart in the first place. Your heart isn't just another muscle. It's one of the most efficient biological pumps ever created. Every minute, it pushes roughly 5 liters of blood throughout your body. During exercise, that number can increase 4 or even 5 times. Despite being only about the size of your fist, it supplies oxygen and nutrients to nearly 37 trillion cells. Evolution loves efficiency. If one heart can do the job, why waste energy growing another? Every extra organ requires food, oxygen, nutrients, and constant maintenance. Nature rarely builds something unless it's absolutely necessary. As strange as this idea sounds, nature has already experimented with it. Humans have only one heart, but some animals don't. An octopus, for example, has three. Two hearts pump blood to its gills, where oxygen is collected, while the third pumps oxygen-rich blood throughout the rest of its body. But here's the fascinating part. When an octopus starts swimming, the main heart that supplies its body actually stops beating for a while. Swimming becomes so exhausting that these incredible creatures often prefer crawling along the ocean floor instead. That's because three hearts aren't simply a biological upgrade, they're a solution to a very specific lifestyle. Humans, however, don't breathe underwater. We don't have gills, and our bodies are built very differently. So if evolution had ever given us three hearts, it wouldn't just copy the octopus. It would have to design an entirely new cardiovascular system, one capable of supporting life on land. But let's imagine evolution took a completely different path. Millions of years ago, our ancestors didn't evolve one powerful heart. Instead, they evolved three specialized hearts. The first heart pumps blood mainly toward the brain, ensuring your nervous system never runs low on oxygen. The second heart focuses on your muscles, giving your arms and legs a constant supply of fresh blood. The third heart keeps your internal organs alive while acting as a backup whenever one of the other hearts becomes overloaded. Instead of relying on one engine, your body now runs on three perfectly synchronized biological machines. Sounds incredible. Until you realize how difficult that synchronization would actually be. Imagine three drummers trying to play the exact same rhythm. If even one speeds up or slows down, the entire performance falls apart. The same thing would happen inside your body. If one heart pumped too quickly, while another slowed down, blood pressure would become unstable. Some organs might receive too much blood, while others suddenly wouldn't receive enough. To prevent this, your nervous system would have to evolve into something much more advanced than it is today. Your brain would constantly monitor all three hearts, adjusting their rhythm thousands of times every minute. It would be like an air traffic controller managing three airplanes that can never collide. Assuming evolution perfected this system, the benefits would become obvious almost immediately. The first thing you'd notice is your stamina. Think about why you get tired after running. It's not because your muscles suddenly stop working. They become exhausted because they can't receive oxygen fast enough. Your heart has a limit. Once your muscles demand more oxygen than your heart can deliver, fatigue begins to set in. Now imagine having three hearts sharing the workload. Blood-carrying oxygen would reach your muscles much faster. Waste products like carbon dioxide and lactic acid would be removed more efficiently. Instead of stopping after a few kilometers, you could keep running for much longer. A marathon that leaves today's elite athletes completely exhausted might feel like nothing more than a long morning jog. Professional sports would never be the same. Every Olympic record you've ever seen would probably disappear within a few years. Sprinters would run faster. Cyclists would maintain incredible speeds for hours. Swimmers could stay underwater longer before needing a breath. Recovery between events would become dramatically shorter because your muscles would receive nutrients almost immediately after intense exercise. Even ordinary people would become unbelievably active. Walking 10 kilometers to work wouldn't sound unreasonable anymore. Hiking across mountain ranges could become a normal weekend activity. Physical jobs that require enormous endurance today would suddenly feel much easier. But here's something most people never think about. More blood circulation doesn't magically create energy. Your heart still needs fuel. Every heartbeat burns calories. Every contraction requires oxygen. Every second your heart is alive, it's consuming energy. Now, imagine doing that 3 times at once, 24 hours a day, every single day of your life. Suddenly, your biggest problem isn't exercise, it's food. An average adult today needs around 2,000 calories every day just to survive. A body powered by 3 hearts could easily require 3 or 4 times that amount, 6,000, 8,000, maybe even 10,000 calories every single day. Breakfast wouldn't keep you full until lunch anymore. 2 hours later, you'd already be hungry again. Lunch would disappear, followed by snacks, another meal, and probably another one before bedtime. Entire grocery stores would look different. Restaurants would serve portions that seem ridiculous by today's standards. Families would spend much more money on food than on almost anything else. Farming would become one of humanity's most valuable industries because feeding billions of people with such enormous appetites would be one of civilization's greatest challenges. And if food ever became scarce, things would turn ugly. History has already shown us that humans fight over resources. But in a world where everyone needs thousands of extra calories every day, fertile farmland would become more valuable than gold. Nations might go to war simply to secure enough food for their population. Ironically, becoming physically stronger could make civilization much more fragile. Your body would also need much larger lungs. Think about it. There's no point pumping extra blood if your lungs can't fill that blood with oxygen. Over millions of years, humans would evolve a wider chest, larger lungs, and stronger breathing muscles. Every breath would pull in much more air than it does today. Deep breathing wouldn't be something athletes train for. It would simply be normal. Your blood vessels would change too. 3 hearts pumping simultaneously would create enormous pressure inside your circulatory system. To handle that pressure safely, arteries would become thicker and more flexible. Veins would grow wider. Even your blood itself might contain more red blood cells to carry greater amounts of oxygen throughout your body. At this point, humans wouldn't simply be modern people with 2 extra hearts. We'd be an entirely different species. Stronger, faster, more durable, but also far more demanding. Because no matter how powerful your body becomes, 3 hearts also mean 3 chances for something to go wrong. And when they do, the consequences could be far worse than anything humans experience today. Subscribe for more facts like this.